Okay, hello, assalamu alaikum, every student. So thank you very much for joining the today and the last lecture. So today will be the last lecture of the data science course. So I hope you enjoyed this workshop, the data science workshop as well. So today is the last lecture, and the lecture will be on the Chat GPT. So how the Chat GPT is working, what is the behind and background of the data science and the AI, how artificial intelligence, data science is using behind the Chat GPT, and how the Chat GPT algorithm is working basically. So this is the topic of today. Okay, I will now forward to Mr. Akli Abbas. So okay, so Mr. Akli Abbas, so forward to you. So you can now start the lecture, please.
So, uh, yes,
Oh, okay, so Mr. Aklim, so we can't hear you. So
hello,
yes, so
hello.
we can't hear your voice. Could you please check your mic?
Uh, you know,
No, 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 cannot.
now,
No, so there is a little bit noise. So could you please check your microphone once more time, please? Okay, from the instructor, so there is some problem with the mic, so please wait for a while. So he will join, please wait. Sorry for the interruption.
okay, so today we are going to discuss ChatGPT and how it works and what is behind ChatGPT and how AI is helping to grow ChatGPT. So, ChatGPT is basically an AI conversational agent developed by OpenAI that use deep neural network to give answers that is similar to human answers. So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And what is meaning of generative? It means it can generate new content based on previous learning, and pre-training mean it is already trained on big data, and transformer is a specific model of deep learning that we will discuss in next slides. So it's specifically talk about ChatGPT 3.5. Then it takes 175 billion parameters, and it can perform different types of tasks like language translation, text completion, question answering, and even it can do programming as well. So, uh, uh, first version of ChatGPT was released in 2018, named it as ChatGPT version 1, and then in 19 they released a second version of ChatGPT that had the ability of generating a quality text based on learning. And in 2020 they released a ChatGPT-3 variant, but it was not good as we are seeing now the version of ChatGPT, and then they performed some kind of fine tuning by applying different techniques to improve GPT-3 variant that they released in 2020, and then released a new variant GPT 3.5 in 2022. And recently, in March 14, 2023, they recently released ChatGPT version 4 that is more powerful as compared to all the previous variants. And what they added extra in this variant, in previous variant, we can give answers by giving text or by writing our questions, but in ChatGPT 4 we can also provide images as input. Let's suppose we can say that we can give image, and we can ask that please describe this image or what is funny in this image, and then ChatGPT 4 has the ability to comment on that image, but it is more powerful from all the previous variants, and now it is capable of doing visualization type of thing. So if we talk about what's behind ChatGPT, ChatGPT uses different deep learning techniques and machine learning techniques to predict or to give answers that are human-like. So let's see how it works. As we saw in the previous slide, that ChatGPT is using deep learning, specifically transformer model to perform question answering type of uh, processing, but it is also inherited from instant GPT, in which we can also give feedback, and human can by giving human response, we can improve, or the user can improve the learning of ChatGPT model. So it is some kind of reinforcement learning from human responses. Major components of ChatGPT are transformer model and language model. So we can name it as a transformer model, as it is a generative pre-trained transformer, and we can also name it as a language model. So, what is a transformer model? A transformer model is a type of neural network that is suitable for sequential data, and it mostly used for natural language processing tasks. So, for sequence, what is meaning of sequential data? When we have a data set that is dependent on other entities, for example, words in sentences, and each and every word in sentence is dependent on other words. So this type of data is sequential, and transformer uh, that was released in 2017 is much more suitable for sequential type of data and natural language processing types of tasks. So let's understand that what is a transformer model. So transformer model is just a type of deep learning, or specifically we can say neural network model. So it basically it is based on a self-attention process that we will see in the next slides. So specifically talk about Chat GPT. When user will enter any prompt, it will go from different natural language processing steps. Then it will be passed in a transformer model, and transformer model uh, will perform encoding in simple word, mapping words in the sentences and defining relationship between them, and then will convert in a numerical form. And this numerical form then further will be given to decoder, and decoder will give us output, and that will be our response for our prompt. So the concept of transformer was given by uh, a research paper published in 2017 by Ashish and a few other authors that gives the concept of attention is all you need. And what is meaning of that? Uh, Depending on the context or depending on the problem that we are going to solve, giving attention to the specific word based on our context or the scenario. So let's suppose, for example, here we have different types of scenarios or problems like language translation, language modeling, sentiment analysis. So in language model, we are translating um, uh, any sentences from one language to another language. So uh, what model will do, it automatically will try to emphasize on specific words that are more important for doing translation type of processes. So it will emphasize in this language translation paragraph the, a, and, as you can see in this example. So, like if we are doing language modeling, as you know, ChatGPT is also a language model where we want to perform some type of questioning and answering. We are giving text and we are retrieving also text from the model. So in this case, self-intention means giving attention to said or according to are reported, and based on the scenario it is giving attention to the to the specific words to build relationship between different words. And if we can consider sentiment analysis as a scenario, then we can give more attention to words like amazing, terrible, disappointing, because these are more important words for doing sentiment type of analysis, like negative or positive or neutral, based on user feedback. And most of the data set that we use in the sentiment analysis are data sets of users feedback, and we goal of the model is to judge the behavior of the user and the performance of the user, that what user have the opinion related to the specific product. So when user will enter any prompt in the chat GPT, like for example, uh, user want to ask chat that please write a linear regression code for me. Then after doing NLP step, that prompt will be given to transformer model. And as you can see here, in the transformer model is basically a neural network model. And here, the first step is to perform embedding, input embedding. Embedding is defining relationship between words, and defining relationship. And the first layer here is encoding. So it will map words from with other words, and then further it will be converted into numerical form, and then by doing remaining processes, it will be given to the transformer layers, or in simple word you can understand it that these are neural networks. And then the final output will be given to the by the decoder. That would be our response that we want to get from the model. And another thing, another name that can be named to the ChatGPT, and that is a language model. So, what is meaning of language model? You can, in simple sentence, you can say that a ChatGPT is a, transformer, transformer-based language model. Like it is already. It already have been has been trained on the transformer and deep learning model. And then why we are naming it as language model? Because we are giving text input and receiving output text from the model. So language model responsibility of the language model is to give output, relational output, consistent output, and a meaningful output. So language model will take a large amount of text input and will do some type of processing. And in the case of ChatGPT, with the help of transformer to give output. So, what would be the training data set of a language model? So, language is like English or Urdu or Spanish. Language model data set would be different books or text data or newspaper, large amount of internet resources, and all these data we will give to the language model, and then we can perform question answering type of things from the trained model. So one thing that the ChatGPT is giving answers based on the transformer, and the other approach that ChatGPT is adopting, that is reinforcement learning from human feedback. And as we saw in the previous sessions, that we have different three major three types of AI: uh, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. And reinforcement learning from human feedback, and it is also a kind of reinforcement learning where we are not giving any kind of supervised or unsupervised data set to the model, but model will learn uh, by human feedbacks. So in case of ChatGPT, if we will give a prompt to the ChatGPT model, and ChatGPT model, and the answer may be correct. The chances are less, but the answer may be wrong. So user can give feedback to the ChatGPT that I am not satisfied with your answer. Uh, can you please rephrase it, or you can review it, and we can give a, a good answer or a correct answer to the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will learn from the human feedback, and it will improve itself next time when any other question, same type of question, if by the any other user will be asked. So, in simple words, what is reinforcement learning? So, in reinforcement learning, we have a agent. Like in supervised learning, we have a model, trained model. But in this case, we are naming it as agent. And the agent is in an environment. And if agent will perform any action, then user can give, and in this case, human feedback can give the whether the action of the agent is correct or wrong. For example, uh, if agent will perform any action and human will say that it is correct action, then uh, and a reward in a algorithm in the agent will give reward to the agent that you are doing good and this is the right direction where you are going on. And if uh, model will go in a wrong direction, then penalty will be given to the model or we can say agent, and Next time, model will not go in this direction because it was wrong direction. And this is how the ChatGPT is working. That is improving by taking human feedback. ChatGPT is also capable of doing step by step and chain of thought reasoning. Like uh, we can we can uh, uh, we can describe a prompt in a long line and give a complete direction to the ChatGPT that I want this and this and this. And let's suppose in this example we are giving instruction to the chat GPT that please follow these four line formats, and whenever you will give answer to me, then you should follow these instructions. So it can also perform different type of reasoning and negations based on the scenario, but it may be correct, but it may also be right. So the basic and the major step and the starting step of ChatGPT is when any user will give any prompt or question to the ChatGPT, then the model will perform some kind of NLP step. So what is NLP? NLP in simple word is a natural language processing that is a field of computer science, and you can consider it as it is the combination of computer science, artificial intelligence, and human languages. So, as human, for example, if we are speaking in English, then computer cannot understand the English language. So, with the help of NLP, we can perform some steps and we can tell to the software that what is meaning of English or what is the meaning of sentences and what is the relationship between different words in the given sentence. So this is all related to NLP. A few common uh, uh, applications of NLPs are, but there are lots of applications of NLP and use cases of NLP, but a few NLP use cases are questioning answering where we can, like ChatGPT, we can give answer, and after performing NLP steps, we can retrieve something from the model, or if we have any information retrieval system, then we can pass our query to the information retrieval system, and after performing NLP steps, information retrieval system like Google search engine, it will give us result based on the query that we already have given to the information retrieval system. And another use case is spam detection. For example, we receive any email after performing NLP steps, model can perform a classification type of problem whether the email is spam or not a spam. And and the major use case of NLP is performing sentiment analysis in Twitter or any e-commerce website, and uh, judging the behavior of user, that what user has the behavior or opinion related to any product. So the major steps in the NLP are sentence segmentation, word tokenization, stemming, lemmatization, identifying stop words, uh, parts of speech tags, and name entity recognition, and chunking. So these are there are no specific steps in NLP, but these are more general and important and key steps in the NLP process. So first step is sentence segmentation. So what is sentence segmentation? In simple words, sentence segmentation meaning is to uh, um, um, of a, in building NLP pipeline, like dividing paragraph into separate sentences. For example, here you can consider this example that we have this paragraph, and we are dividing this paragraph in separate sentences. The first step is to perform NLP is dividing paragraph in sentences. Based on the problem that are the scenario that we are going to solve and what we are using NLP, uh, there one major step in the process of NLP is performing tokenization. So what is tokenization? In tokenization, uh, after dividing paragraph into sentence, the next step is to divide sentence into words, and each word we can name it as a token. Uh, in simple word, it is not specific, but in simple word, we can say that each word is a token. So let's suppose, for example, here we have a sentence like we are learning how ChatGPT works, and we are dividing in words how like we are and learning and how and ChatGPT and works, and each word we can name it as a token. And this process is we can say name it as word tokenization. And in terms of implementation, if we want to perform all these steps with the help of Python, then a very well-known and a famous library that is being used to perform NLP steps is NLTK. So you can use NLTK library to perform all these NLP steps that we are discussing. After doing tokenization, next step is to perform stemming. So, what is stemming? Stemming, in simple word, is to extract a base form or root form from the word. Let's suppose in this example, we have different words, related words, or other words like celebrate, celebrated, and celebrating. But the meaning of all these three words is same, and that meaning is to do celebrate. So this is the stemming. Stemming after doing tokenization, the next step is to perform stemming and converting all the words in a root form. So what is a big problem in the stemming? Stemming uh, will only convert words in the root word, but uh, that may be meaningless and cannot depict the meaning of within the English that we have for that word. So one major big problem in this case with the root word is which may not have any meaning. So lemmatization is same uh, uh, we uh, as we saw in the previous slide. But the difference between the stemming and lemmatization is that in stemming, we are not considering meaning of that word, but in the process of lemmatization, it will also consider meaning of that word in the sentence that are in, we can say, in the context that we are working on, that what is the relationship meaning of that word. So the next step is to remove stop words, because stop words are useful uh, for speaking, but it might be not useful for doing NLP process. So it is not a fixed or mandatory step, but depends on the problem that we are considering. We can also consider it as a step that identifying and removing stop words after performing lemmatization. Like in the sentence, uh, there we have lots of stop words in the English, but uh, 400 plus. But let's suppose is and the a, and these are stop words, and we can remove it from the NLP doing NLP process. So the next step is to perform post of speech tagging. Post of speech tagging is more about defining the uh, uh, actual meaning like noun, meaning of word like nouns or verbs or adverb or adjective or what the word is. So this kind of work is named as point or parts of speech tag. Like in this case, we have a sentence and Google any sentence where the Google will be used, we can name Google is as a verb, although it is a proper noun. So the next step is to defining, giving more precise name to the words, like giving, and we can name it as name entity recognition. So, for example, giving a person name, a movie name, organization name, or a location name, or giving a specific name to the tokens. And what is chunking? Dividing those words or grouping them into a bigger or smaller chunks to understand or defining relationship of different words. So these are a few NLP process that ChatGPT is considering as pre-processing step before giving this to the transformer pre-trained model. So ChatGPT is also based on tokenization, where it is converting our given prompt into tokens, and that token will be further given to the transformer to predict or give response to us. So as we have seen that transformer is a neural network that is based on self attention and encoding and decoding process. So it is a type of neural network. So let's take a little bit overview of what a neural network is. To understand the neural network, uh, it is same as our human brain works. Like it mimics the working of our human brain. In human brain, we have neurons, and neurons will pass chemical signal to other neurons to build relationship and to perform logical operation and to memorize things. And whenever we will learn a new thing, our brain will create a new chemical connection between different neurons for those new learned things. And whenever we will repeat anything, those neural connections will be more strong as we will repeat the same thing again and again. So same neural network is working as our brain is working. In neural network, we have in first layer, we have input layers where we will pass uh, images or our data set to the neural network. And in the middle, we have different types of hidden layers. So there is no fixed number of hidden layers. It can vary problem to problem, or we can consider our own hidden layer as well. So when we will pass any data set, textual or images data set or any data set, then after input layer, it further it will be go to the multiple hidden layers. And finally, in the end, we have a single output layer that will perform output for or you can say prediction or classification by the model. So specifically talk about neural network. What is steps to train a neural network or transformer or any deep learning model? Just take a little bit overview. So we have a data set as we already had in supervised learning or unsupervised learning, and we can split data set in training data set and validation data set and testing data set. And dividing data set in validation data set is a optional thing, and we can consider validation data set and we can ignore this step. And what is difference between testing and validation data set? In validation data set, model during the training, model can also uh, evaluate its performance based on the validation data set. So we can also evaluate the performance of model during the training with the help of validation and testing data set. We can consider it after model has been trained, and we can then give training data set to check final accuracy of the model. So, what are the key components in the neural network? Major components are a loss function, or we can say cost function, and an optimizer function. Working of a neural network is same as the working we already have seen in the second session, and that was linear regression working, where we have a loss function or a cost function. So updating weights and fitting on a best line, drawing a linear line and a dependent variable and independent variable. And here in the neural network, it is also following the same thing, and it will draw a linear line, or you can say a dependent and dependent relationship for each connection between the neurons in the neural network. So let's little bit understand the working of neural network. So let's suppose we have different let's suppose we have different types of we have data set of images or a textual data set, and mostly uh, the algorithm that we use for images is a algorithm of CNN. That is also a kind of a deep learning algorithm that is most suitable for images type of data set. And if you want to train a data set on a textual data set or sequential data set where we have a relationship between different entities, then we can consider recurrent neural network or transformers. So we have uh, here we have input layers and different hidden layers. And the hidden layer can be one or more than one. So it depends on our scenario that we are considering, that how many hidden layers we want to consider in the neural network. So, and in the last, we have output layer. So when we will start like Chat GPT and training a transformer based model, first thing is to give iteration, how many iterations we want to perform from the model. So every time, so it is not a one go thing. We have to perform multiple iterations to improve the learning, in the technical word, weights of the model. So after giving input and generating output, and next step is to uh, next step is to judge the accuracy, or you can say the error of the model, that what is the correction of the model. And how we can calculate the error of the model. Loss function or the cost function is responsible for calculating error in the neural network. So there is no fixed loss or cost function like root mean square. We can also give our own or consider our own loss function, but a very well-known loss function is root mean square, that will give error by considering actual uh, actual label and the predicted label, and calculating the difference between the actual label and the predicted level, as we saw in the linear regression algorithm in the second section. And uh, that error will be given to the optimizer function. So loss function will give us error, and that error further will be given to optimizer, and that optimizer will be responsible to adjust the weights. So what is weights? Let's suppose we have a dependent variable, and here we have a w, and that w is our weight. So here we have x, that is the independent variable, and plus b are y. So this is the weight, and a job of the optimizer, like gradient descent optimizer, the job of the optimizer is to adjust or recalculate the weights of this model. So this is how the process of this is how deep learning model will learn and perform the neural network processing things. So it will again and again recompute this, and based on the error given by the optimization or the cost function. So how many times it will repeat? We can consider and give iteration as input, like we can say 200 times iterations, and after performing and each time it will recompute the error and recompute the weights to improve the performance of the model. So this is how a little bit overview that how neural network is working. So let's consider that how ChatGPT is in this case is working. For example, a user will give a prompt. So this prompt will be passed to NLP, and after performing few types of NLP steps, these are not fixed steps that we saw uh, in the slides. That were general steps, but additionally, ChatGPT is also performing more steps. So after performing NLP steps, that will be tokens, or we can say encoding schemes will be given to transformer. And transformer there is a encoder, and the first layer, like in the uh, neural network, we have hidden layer and input layer and the output layer. But in transformer, the first layer as embedding layer, and we can say as encoder, the job is to perform word mapping. So after doing this, it will be given to hidden layer or transformer layers, and then transformer after transformer layer and doing processing, it will be further given to the decoder, and the job is the of the decoder is to give output. So these are few steps, but additionally, the ChatGPT is following a reinforcement learning technique, and that is giving taking feedback from the user. So, like if user will give prompt to the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT in reverse will give response. But if user is not satisfied with the response, then user will pass a correct answer, and based on correct answer, it may be wrong, but based on this behavior, ChatGPT will update uh, and will update and recompute its weights based on the new uh, new feedback taking from the user. So this is all the working behind the chat GPT that we have. and recently they launched the ChatGPT-4 that is much more powerful as compared to previous models, and that has the capability of taking images and text as input. So this is all about today's session. And if you have any question, you can ask.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Kalim, to deliver the today lecture. So I think it's a very interesting lecture. So that how ChatGPT is working behind the science and the algorithms is working behind ChatGPT. So I think for student as well, it's a very interesting lecture. Okay, so if you have any questions, so any student have any questions, so you can ask, please. So okay, so you can ask. So I will also today, I will also now share with you the job opportunity in Japan. So what kind of job opportunities will be there in the Japan? So if you have any question regarding the Chat GPT or today lecture, so please you can ask. Then I will continue with the job opportunities in Japan presentation. Okay, so Mr. Karim, one student is asking. So could you please explain the semantic slide again?
What was the slide number?
A semantic slide. Semantic.
Can you please tell me the title of that slide? Because there is no specific thing like semantic.
A semantic. Okay, so another question is that so can we make our own model like just like Chat GPT? What do we need for that?
Yes, we can also build our own models like ChatGPT, about it we have already given by the Google, and we have different already language models based on transformers. So we can use transformer, and after adding NLP steps in the transformer, and we can build our own ChatGPT model. And uh, people are also building their own ChatGPT models. So it is also an interesting thing. And one use case that I want to tell you about the ChatGPT. Recently, I used ChatGPT uh, to as I'm doing research, and I develop a Python script that will take any PDF document like research paper or any book, regardless of how many pages we have in the book, and that Python script will summarize that book and tell us key points and strengths and weaknesses of our research paper or books we have. So it was an interesting scenario for me. So yes, we can also build like ChatGPT. Next question, please.
Okay, so any other students have any questions, so you can ask.
Sir, I was talking about the slide after attention is all we need paper.
Okay, okay. Specifically, we are talking about
Yes,
transformer,
sir.
and the concept of transformer was given by this research paper, and the name of a title of the research paper is "Attention is All You Need," and that is uh, uh, published in 2017. So they gave us the concept of self attention. So what is meaning of self attention? Transformer are suitable for sequential type of data. And what is meaning of sequential type? Where we have relationship between entities, like time series type of data, like sentences, where we have relationship of words. So building relationship is also a critical point and important process in the language model. And based on the scenario, what is self attention meaning? Based on the scenario, what we are considering, like we are developing a model for language translation, we are developing a chatbot like language model or like ChatGPT, or we are doing a sentiment analysis like process. So based on these scenarios or context we have, we need attention, giving focus on specific words, and that specific word can uh, improve the performance for that scenario. For example, in language translation, we need to focus on uh, this type of words, like we have be, a, and am. And in language modeling type of problems, we need to consider or we need to focus on this type of words said according to and report it. And if we are doing sentimental type of analysis, then we need to focus on amazing or terrible or disappointing. So transformers are using self-attention type of technique where they will give attention to specific words based on the scenario that we are considering. So this is the concept of self-attention. Any other question?
Okay, so if the student has no any other questions, so then I will share my screen and I will share with you opportunities regarding the AI and data science and other opportunities that we have currently now. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So job opportunities in Japan. So in the first lecture of data science course, I will share with you the job Japan job market in the IT sector of the Japan. So now today this lecture we will share with you the job opportunities in Japan, what kind of job opportunities in the Japan market. So as I told in the earlier lecture, in the first lecture of the data science, that Japan has the shortage of the labor in every sector of the market basically. So not only in the IT sector but in all sectors of the Japan. So now there is a shortage of the labor. So the one is reason that the population of Japan is declining day by day, and their average youth age currently now in Japan is around 50 years old. So this is average youth age in Japan. But if you compare with Pakistan, here the average youth age is around 22 years old, 24 years old. So this is a very huge gap between Japan and Pakistan. So now Japan in the IT sector, especially in the IT sector, Japan now need around 800,000 IT professionals only in the IT sector. So in the field of artificial intelligence, data science, cybersecurity, and in the full stack domain, front end, back end, MLOps, DevOps. So around 800,000 engineers are required until 2030. So you see in the graph that from 2015 to 2030. So in 2018, there is a requirement of the around 220,000 engineers. So, but until 2030, so around 800,000 IT engineers are required. So because their population is decreasing day by day, so that's why. So the reason is that they are not marrying. So that's why the reason. And the reason is that their population is decreasing and their birth rate as well. So there are different companies in Japan. Some of the companies already you know. So there are few companies I listed here in this presentation. So in the manufacturing, so Toyota very famous, Sony, Honda, in the electronics, Sony, Docomo, Pioneer company, and in the retail and bakery. So they're very famous bakery, and the cake of this bakery is a very old company. This one is Bamkuhen. So in Japanese, we call it Bamkuhen. This is basically a cake. So this Yuhaim company basically making a bake, and this company is very old. It was built around in 1930s. So in the IT sector, there are many other companies, but these company, our company already has a relation and collaboration with these companies. So this time I will share with you the Pioneer company and one of the Hiranotech Seeds. So two companies I will share with you job description that currently the opportunities basically available. Please wait for a while. Please wait. To disturb you. Okay. So okay, so these are the company we have already. Uh, so our company basically already have a relation with these companies. So today, company that the job description I will share with you. One of the companies Hirano Texid. So this is a very famous company and old company in the Japan. So they are mainly business focus on the basically manufacturing industry and the industrial automation, and in the field of basically the laminating and coating the different product basically. So the operational engineers are available. The position as an operation engineer available for this aeronautic seed company. Another opportunity as an AI engineer and the ML ops engineer in the company Pioneer. You see here the company is written name Pioneer. So this is a very old company and global level company. And the Heron Seed also and Pioneer company are basically global level companies. And the Pioneer company basically they're mainly focus business focus on the electronics industry and the car equipment accessories and the basically digital entertainment industry. So this company required is basically the AI and MLOps position. So there are different positions in the IT sector: machine learning, AI, embedded system, data science, DevOps. But this time the positions are basically machine learning engineer position and the AI engineer positions and the operational engineer position this time. So there are three positions currently. The first position is AI, artificial intelligence position. So it needs around 2 to 3 years of experience. And the second position is ML ops position. It also requires around 2 to 3 years of experience in the ML ops domain. And the third one is operation engineer position. So fresh graduate can also apply for this position as well. So now from the next slide, so I will share with you one by one what are the basically required skill for these positions. Okay, so for the AI position, so around 2 to 3 years experience is required for this position. So the candidates who have experience in designing and developing the deep learning or machine learning algorithms and having experience in the accuracy improvement, the model of the deep learning, machine learning, and having the tune up verifications and having the coding skills in the Python to understand the algorithm of the AI or data science or implement those algorithms. So once we have developed the machine learning or AI algorithms, so we want to also deploy those algorithms in some server. So like the e-commerce website or any application, we need to deploy these application or some servers to basically see the actual results. So for the machine learning algorithms, where we deploy these algorithms. So in every famous and big websites and applications, the machine learning, AI, data science, deep learning, these are algorithms are already deployed and working in these all websites and applications. So that's why the candidate also must have a skill to deploy those applications and to basically making the machine learning pipeline on the cloud. Cloud here means the AWS cloud, the experience in the AWS cloud or the Microsoft Azure cloud or the GCP cloud. For example, in the return here, you know the service like the AWS service like SageMaker, Lambda, ECS, ECR, Batch, API Gateway, and some candidates who has some experience in the basically participating in the competition of the Kaggle. If some experience in the Kaggle, participate in some competition and earn or got some silver medal or gold medal or bronze medal, he or she can also eligible for this position. So the second position is basically specific for the MLOps position. That I told earlier that the machine learning algorithms or AI algorithms or data science algorithm, some AI engineer has developed or data science engineer has developed the algorithm, or machine learning engineer has developed the algorithm. So how can we making the machine learning pipelines? How can we containerize the application? The application's size is too much big. So how we compress the basically the AI machine learning or AI or data science algorithm? So we need the tools. You must know the tools like the orchestration, Kubeflow, Airflow, SageMaker pipelines, and the services of the AWS or Microsoft Azure to deploy the application real time. So that's why this is the MLOps position. So there are very few, basically in the Pakistan, but not in Pakistan, around the world, MLOps engineers are very few, very few engineers. So that's why the experience is required. Uh, Designing, building, and implementing the machine learning workflows. Know the algorithm, machine learning workflow, and applying, implementing the machine learning ML ops tools like machine learning flow tool, Kubeflow, Airflow, SageMaker pipelines, and the AWS services like Lambda, ECS, Batch, and the construction of the CI/CD pipelines. So there are different application and softwares the engineers basically are using. So GitLab, GitHub, or Jenkins or Circle CI, different. So if candidate has experience to basically develop and deploy the SaaS application or experience in the making the and designing the infrastructure of the application, so very preferable. So these are basically these skills are required for the MLOps position. Okay, the last position is operation engineering position. So this basically position, a fresh graduate can also apply. The candidate who has done his engineering or degree in the electrical domain or the BEd or BTech in electrical, or some candidate who has experience in the electrical side. For example, some experience, 3 year experience, 2 year experience in the power plant or some manufacturing plant, or he has done some electrical domain experience, or fresh graduate who has now done in the electrical engineering, so he or she can also eligible for this position. So knowledge about the electrical circuit, electrical machinery, motors, and knowledge to handle the tester, driver, cream wrench, stripper, soldering iron, clamp, and must communicate in English language and understand the electrical drawings and detail of secondary wiring work, and the candidate must able to operate the Windows PC like Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word. So these are 3 positions which are now currently open in our company. So our company is a basically recruiting company. So we basically hire the candidate and dispatch to the another organization. So but we not only dispatch, but we also support the candidate in terms of visa procedure, documentation, and the accommodation and expenses. So our company will support throughout. So these are 3 positions now currently we are basically hiring for these positions. So if any candidate who are interested in this position, so he or she can email their CVs to these 2 email addresses. You can screenshot of this email address. So then you can, if you're interested, so if you have experience, so if you have done electrical engineering, so can you are eligible to the last position as well. So if you are interested, so please send your CV to this email address. So then we will review your CV. So if your experience is matched to the job requirements, so then definitely we will take an interview with you. And then if you are shortlisted, so then you will have a technical interview with the other Japanese organization. So then if you will get the offer letter, so then there is some offer ceremony will be held in our office in Islamabad. So then you will work remotely or you will go to on-site in Japan. So these all 3 positions basically on-site in Japan. So last position is the training. Your training will be held in Japan, and then after training, 2 or 3 months training, so then you will move to relocate to USA in America, because this company has the collaboration with the Siemens and LG company. So basically they are now going to construct the EV, electrical vehicle battery plants in the different area region of the America. So that's why they need the electrical operation engineer for the installment and making the power plant of the making the basically EV charging basically booth of the electrical vehicle. So these are the three positions. So if you have interested, so please send your CV. So if you have any question, if any candidate, if you have any questions, so you can ask, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so any candidate, if you have any questions, so you can ask, please. You can also screenshot of this email address. So then you can send your CV if you have experience and if you are interested in these positions. Okay, for the operational engineer, so there is no requirement. So if you have knowledge about the basically if you've done engineering in the electrical domain, electronics, and if you have experience in the PLC, HMI, or if you have knowledge about the electrical drawings and the motor, servo motor, so you can also eligible for this position. Because the company basically construct the plant for the charging station of the electrical vehicle in America. How can I find out? Okay, so for the future positions, so we are basically post in our LinkedIn. So the LinkedIn, I will share with you our LinkedIn page, our company page, so you can see, or you can also follow the Nust LinkedIn, Nust placement, LinkedIn page, and the Facebook page as well. You can see there as well. So any other question you have? So any other candidate have any question? Okay, so you can visit our LinkedIn page and you can also visit the Nust placement office. So we can share basically there. Okay, so any candidate has any other question? So regarding the any opportunity or regarding anything about information about Japan, so you can ask. Okay, I have done it. Okay, so this one, okay. So Rais Ahmed, if you have experience in the solar energy company and if you experience in the PLC and the HMI design and motors regarding electrical wiring, so you can send your CV, please. So I think you already have an email address, so you can send your CV. So then we will review your CV and okay. So Mr. Klim, so someone is asking statistics is necessary for data science or not?
We can perform, or we have to perform some kind of statistics operation as pre-processing step, but it could be necessary, but it is not something mandatory. So in the processing of data science steps, we can consider statistics as pre-processing step.
Okay, so any other students have any questions, so you can ask, please. Okay, so after this lecture, so today is the last lecture of the data science course. So then we will share some questionnaire. So then we will fill this questionnaire. So then after that, the students who has submitted the questions, so then we will basically share the certificates with them. Okay, so another question for the Mr. Aklim. So business skill is mandatory or not for the data science?
Uh, as we saw in the last sessions, we did implementation work, and where was the business skill that we used. So it is preferable, but not something mandatory. So doing data science operation is more related to skill set of data science related things, and machine learning algorithms, or pre-processing, handling data. So this is all about, and business skill is something different, and we can consider it, but that may be an optional thing.
Okay, so any other question? Any students have any questions? So you can ask, please. Okay, so for the Mr. Aklim, so any other other questions? So do you know any model that check novelty of the any idea topic because it's really time consuming literature review?
Yes, you can take the help of ChatGPT for this, as I have mentioned that recently I developed a Python script that took a PDF file as a research paper, and that will summarize or perform a literature review for us, or give us key concepts as a strength or weaknesses that we have in that research paper. So you can take the help of ChatGPT for doing literature review type of things, but keep in mind that as ChatGPT-3 3.5 specifically is trained till 2021 uh, data sets. So if you want latest information, or you can go with the ChatGPT 4, but now that ChatGPT 4 is available for uh, plus users or premium users. So you can take the help of ChatGPT for doing literature review type of things, but the knowledge is constrained as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, so any other students have any question? Okay, so if the students have no questions, so we will conclude the our last lecture. So okay, so all of the students and especially Mr. Aklim Abbas, so thank you very much for joining the lecture and delivering the lecture. So very interesting lecture. So you delivered and all of the students. So thank you much all of you to join the today and the all the lectures on the data science. So I think it's a very interesting lectures and the workshop for you as well. So one last question someone is asking. So uh, please.
Yes, that's the limitation of ChatGPT, that limit us the specific amount of tokens that we can pass to ChatGPT API, and that was also a challenge for me. And I was thinking at building logic for it, and I what the logic I adopt, and that was that I divided the research paper or the book that we provided in the PDF file, and I divided that in the pages. So like taking only 2 pages and giving 2 pages, and taking responses of that pages, and merging. And for the next pages, we can consider the next request, the next prompt to the ChatGPT API. So we can provide multiple requests to merge, and in after it to merge all the responses to build the final conclusion for that research paper or the book. So that's the approach that I adopt.
Okay, thank you very much. Mhm. Okay, so thank you very much all of you to join the last lecture as well. So after this lecture, so we will share with you slides and recording as well, and we will share with you questionnaire. So please submit this questionnaire. So then after that, so we will share with you certificates as well. So the deadline of the questionnaire will be on this Friday. So please submit your questionnaire until this Friday. So then we will share with you the certificate with this data science course as well. Okay, so please open your webcam. So we will take a picture together. So today is the last lecture. So then we will conclude the lecture here. Okay, so I will take a picture now. So please smile. Okay, thank you very much. So for the today lecture and all the lectures. So thank you very much, all of you. So especially Mr. Aklim. So you have delivered the very amazing, interesting lectures in the data science course. And also thank you for the Dr. Mozzam as well. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining this data science course. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much.